Wow, this is huge. The Montreal Canadiens just signed Tyler Toffoli to a 4-year deal worth $4.25 million per season. Now we really know why Hall wasn't the main target here. There's going to be some cap implications, and I'll go through that shortly. But first off, let's go through the Habs top 9 because it is looking deep and very balanced. First, and we can argue which line is the first, second, and third line, but regardless, each of these lines is going to play an important role, and it's filled with talented players who can make plays and also finish. Very deep lines now. So let's call the first line Philip Deneau, Brendan Gallagher, and Thomas Tatar. It's one of the best possession lines in the NHL. You got Thomas Tatar, who's a 25 to 30 goal scorer. Phil Deneau, two-way center, can put up 55 points, getting mentioned in Selke talks. And then to their right, you got Brendan Gallagher, a consistent 30 goal scorer. Go down to line 2, you have Nick Suzuki at center, who's emerging as a very sound two-way center that with elite potential. And we all have high hopes for him. To his left, you got a guy who's got serious skill but hasn't been able to put it together. But now with these line mates, you got to think he will. Jonathan Drouin, and to the right you got Josh Anderson now, the big power forward right winger who can pot goals. If you haven't seen my videos on the Josh Anderson Max Domi trade and the Josh Anderson contract, check those out. You go down to the third line and you have Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who's also starting to progress as a center. To his left you'll have Tyler Toffoli, who's a right-handed shot. Another valuable thing about getting Tyler Toffoli, yet another right-handed shot just like Josh Anderson. And Tyler Toffoli is a consistent 25 goal scorer through his career. We will go through that, don't get me wrong. And then Joel Armia on the right. That's a very deep top 9. You've got guys who can make plays, and each of our centers is going to have players with them who can finish on the wings. This is huge. Now let's talk about Tyler Toffoli specifically. In 2014-15, as a 22-year-old, he had 23 goals and 49 points. Followed that up 2015-16 at 23 with 31 goals, 58 points. 58 points as a 23-year-old. So you see that skill and scoring pedigree at an early age. That's a great, great sign. Then we fast forward a few seasons. He scored plenty of goals in between here and there, but we'll skip to his last 2 seasons. 2018-19, he only had 13 goals with the LA Kings. Bit of a struggle there, and they decided to move on to him. But he just came off a fantastic year, scoring 24 goals in 68 games and 44 points. So what a pickup by Marc Bergevin here. This I still cannot believe how impressive this top 9 is and what we're going to roll into next season. Now the cap implications were $354,000 over the salary cap. So we're gonna have to see some movement here to fix that. And Bergevin usually prefers to go into a season with $1 million or $2 million cap space, just some room for some flexibility later on in the season. You never know what's going to happen, injuries or otherwise, wanting to maybe add and, see how the season goes and then still have that flexibility. So we got to clear some space. The easy choice, you got to think, is Jordan Weal. We brought in the right-handed shot of Tyler Toffoli, so maybe that makes Jordan Weal expendable where he's a right-handed shot and typically a fourth-line player. He's got $1.4 million left for 1 year. I can totally see a team wanting to take on Jordan Weal for their penalty kill and some depth scoring for a fourth line somewhere. The other option may be Paul Byron, but he's a leader on the team. He gets paid $3.4 million per year, and there's 3 years left on the deal, so that contract might actually be hard to move despite Paul Byron being a very solid player. So to me, the odd man out would be Jordan Weal, but we'll have to wait and see what Bergevin does here to correct his cap situation. This is a great signing. I never would have expected it, mainly just because, and I mentioned it in one of my recent videos, a reporter in LA where Tyler Toffoli used to be mentioned that he didn't think there was a fit with Tyler Toffoli in Montreal. So I just assumed this guy might have had sources. Clearly he doesn't, because now we see Tyler Toffoli signed in Montreal. This is impressive. I love what our top 9's coming together like. I love how the entire team is coming together. Oh, this is exciting. Of course, we got some things to think about in terms of Thomas Tatar next year, possibly going to free agency, but makes it a lot easier now that we've just added another 25 goal scorer into our team. This is great, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications if you enjoy these videos. Really help support the channel. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go!